Welcome to the JAMODI podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it.
It's enough though, right there. Just the
Yeah.
fact that I think you do acknowledge it, but man, you're right though. The fear of missing out, that happens to coaches too, that FOMO and the comparison thief, like that happens to us too. And if we're not careful through social media, yeah, watching film of other teams. I do love using social media as a tool to let people in, to let them know about our players more, to celebrate the things that we're doing. But just like anything else, we gotta be careful about good things becoming bad, becoming too much. I think I'm the right person to talk about a good balance with that, but great nugget about giving that to your assistant coaches. And, I heard one coach talk about it like this, is as an assistant coach, he wanted to look and see what on his head coach's plate could he take off from him. And I think as a head coach, I don't wanna just push off the stuff I don't care about, but actually empower them to do things that they could do that for some reason I'm just holding on to.
Yeah. Yep. And I try to be the same. I don't, and when it comes to delegation, I really want to delegate maybe the things that are their strength and my weakness, and I think that's a big important part of who you hire and who you surround yourself with is, hey, this person's really good at what I'm not. But also knowing that a lot of the low man on the totem pole jobs, I've done them and I'll continue to do them. There's a lot of stuff that I don't think that I'm above doing. And there's a lot of things I know I don't enjoy doing anymore, but the social media just happened to be, and again, I think I would do it if I felt like we didn't have somebody, maybe we had hired a guy that didn't have the strength in that area, but he was really good at something else. Then I'm going to have him do that something else because I want him to be a lead at what he's good at. And that's why we brought him here. But I do think social media has a presence, and I do think you have to promote your program. And like you said, celebrate your kids. I'm proud of who we have here, and I'm proud of what they accomplish. And I think our program as a whole, from community service to how they're going to do academically to on the court accolades that they're going to get. And we want to celebrate them and want to be a part of the community. And so, yeah, you got to get the word out. And so social media does have a lot of positives. I just have to limit my time on it.
I actually think that for assistant coaches, young assistant coaches wanting to get jobs, high school level or especially at the college level, I think being proficient in Photoshop or Canva and knowing, because here's my issue with being in charge of it. I'm not cool. And I don't know what's cool. I don't know what sounds cool. Coach, I literally screenshot what other college programs, what they post, and I copy like in the lab with that little green vial. I don't talk like that, like in the lab, but okay, what are they? They're doing skill work. They did have some videos or still shots and they put in the lab. So in my notes section on my phone, I can't believe this is silly. In my notes section on my phone, I have a whole page that's just phrases and
Yeah.
emojis. And I don't really know what they all mean, but I'm going to try to use a different one. And if I see a new one that like Rice puts out, okay, screenshot, copy, put that in, but just constantly trying to add. But I think those younger coaches, if they can do that, like that's another way to make themselves valuable, because there's guys like me and you that, man, I really don't. And thankfully at Midway, they're in probably at your program, and we have kind of a social media director almost. She does graphics, so she's incredible. And but a guy that can do that, that's impressive. And then we talked about giving things to coaches, but then I think also a way to give players ownership is we can let them choose things. And I heard a coach say that, he lets players choose the things that he doesn't care about. And I think that's a good way, because sometimes without realizing it, it's like we try to control everything. So what are some of those things that maybe you've allowed your players to do that gives them more ownership in the culture or the way that you do things?
Yeah. Some of the simple things is just like, where do you want to eat? what time you want to practice. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes you can't help some of that kind of stuff, but I mean, if there's an open gym and hey, it's a Saturday and nobody else is going to be in there, like, you guys want to go at 8 in the morning and get it out of the way, or do you want to go at 1 o'clock? Like, what do you guys want? To me, it's just y'all are the ones that has to have the productive day, and I do too. But if y'all aren't going to be good at 8 in the morning up here, but you might come up here at 8 and want to be done and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. It's little decisions like that that I think I've always done. Or hey guys, where do y'all want to eat? It's not about what I like. It's not about my preference. Here's our budget. Here's what we're going to do, and things like that. I try to give them some ownership and things like that because same thing. At the end of the day, I don't really care where we eat. I really don't care what time
Don't
we
care.
practice. I just, one way or the other is going to be all good,
Yeah.
So kind of give that
I'm
up to them.
chuckling because Dave Bliss, my first coach for my first 3 years, he had us eat every pregame meal at Buzzard Billy's. And no offense, I live in Waco now, so no offense to Buzzard Billy's, but after a few times in a row, we were done. We were over that, and he loved it. And so we would always eat there, but I mean, that would have been a cool thing for him to say is, "Hey, we're next pregame meal, where do you guys want?" And then I think a good nugget that I learned is, the either or. Give them 2 options in something that you're good with either of them. Like, it's
Yes.
a win to you no matter what. "Hey, do you guys wanna wear blue socks or white socks?"
Yeah.
They have ownership, they get to choose, but it's what you want, and I'm
Exactly.
constantly looking for things now as I get older. Alright, what are the either ors that I could set up for this that it's both what I want, but they get to choose?
Yeah. 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 I had to tell one of my assistants that last week. He came with about 9 different hotel options. I said, "Hey man, just bring me 2. We'll pick one. It'll be good, man. Just, it'll be either or. It'll be all good.
Or
You can either make it the top that's going to cost the most. And if I want to go that route, we can, or however you want to do it." But yeah, I agree. I like that either or. I'm going to steal that.
how do I watch the South Plains documentary?
It's on YouTube. And I think you just
Oh,
got to Google it, yeah, or, go
okay.
in the search bar and find
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wrote that down, I can't wait. Okay, so we have talked about practice a little bit, and I would imagine that, you know, based on the film session you're gonna have in about 20 minutes, which again, can't believe, like, after your late night and you got something tonight, just so honored that you would still do this, that you didn't text me, say, "Hey, too much today, can't do it."
Nah, nope.
That's it. That's
I'm so
impressive.
excited. I'm telling you, man. I watch all these. So I love all the
Well,
coaches you have on here.
yeah, and I again, every time that somebody says yes to it, it's even after 5 years, still can't believe it, humbled by it. So, how do you decide what you're gonna work on in practice? Since you and I have talked about we don't just regurgitate old practice plans and rinse and repeat. How do you do that?
Yeah, I think to me, it's a fine line of as you look out to whatever competition is up next, combined with what were we really bad at in the last practice or the last outing, or what are we just missing out on? And I think I found myself like even that like last week as we're trying to get ready for the jamborees, like we've spent so much time doing other things that I hadn't put a press break in. I didn't have zone offense in. Um, I didn't have a baseline or sideline out of bounds play. Like there's just a lot of the stuff that, like we had to put all that stuff in last week and we had to execute it for a couple days so we could at least be organized. But that still wouldn't have been what I would have wanted to have spent my time on last week. But I had to. I had to say we got to at least have this in. And I'll be dang if not every seven. We played 5 games and all 5 teams pressed, and it's like I'm glad. I mean, if they had the aggressive press where we could get the ball in the middle, we scored it every time. If they had the zone press and made us reverse it and get it across, it stymied us, and we weren't. That's something I would probably take 2 or 3 days in getting ready to scout a team and how they were going to play against us. Hey guys, we got to break it and then quickly get into offense and get into what we're doing. And anyway, it certainly stymied us, but I'm glad we at least had the one press break in because
Yeah.
the couple of the times that they got aggressive, we got the ball in the middle and we scored and relieved some stress from us. But like this week, I think I kind of told you, I felt like balls, our physicality and rebounding, and I thought they played hard. I don't fault their effort, but man, in order for us to win the way that we want to, that stuff's got to be cleaned up. And to me, it needs to be cleaned up immediately. And it's one of the reasons why I don't want to wait till tomorrow, and have a 30-minute film session tomorrow where they're, you know, tired of watching repeat of what they're doing wrong and then having to go out to practice and try to get better. I would rather them tonight have a little bit of recovery lift, and then they're going to sit there and watch maybe for quite a while of just like, guys, look how many times this happened. Look how many times. And then that way they can be on their brain when they go to bed. And that way they'll know that come tomorrow that like that is going to be one of the things we get fixed first. A free throw blockout. There's no telling how many times we just whiffed guys on a free throw blockout. There's no telling how many times I've got clips of, good and bad. Sometimes we would pick a guy up when he went to the floor, and sometimes we wouldn't, but they need to see the good and the bad. And just,
Consistency. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so those are the things that to me that we're going to get corrected hopefully tonight. And then Monday, Tuesday, there's going to be loose ball drills. There's going to be verticality and some contact, to where like, hey, we're not going to work this hard and play this hard to not finish possessions by being soft at the end.
Huh.
And we got to have some physicality to us and be able to go bounce up, rebound the ball, not get shoved under. And so anyway, I think, and if we can get that corrected this week, we'll get, like I told you, maybe some of the lineups with changing some lineups, doing some things and cleaning up, just positioning and ball screen defense and things like that. I think that will incorporate that as well as trying to execute. But, I do think as a coach, I know you want to get better at everything. You like every single practice, like, what do you want to get better at? Well, I mean, everything. I want to press good and press break good. I want to, have this. And Greg Young always had the best saying, it's either the chicken or the egg. If offense is really ginning that day, that means defense is bad. Well, the vice versa. If defense is doing really well, then that means offense probably isn't. And it's one or the other. But for sure, in my mind, playing in those games this last weekend, I got to see both, in the transition. And we're going to get better at those things this week. And then hopefully by next week, like that's not even a clip, or if it is, it's all clips of positives. Like, hey, look where we learned from last week. Here's where we got better. And then we'll have a new laundry list of new issues. And
Yeah. The
then
line
hopefully
just
we'll fix
moves
them.
a little bit
Yeah.
farther down. What value do you see in watching film tonight? And I would imagine you're the same where I feel myself, even though that I'm watching film of the past, I feel my blood pressure, I feel the anger rising inside of me when I'm in that moment watching film. So there's times where, maybe just a little bit of emotion comes out and or even they're frustrated watching it. But then you do it tonight, space and time in between. Is it allow you to have and the players a little bit more of a clean slate and focus tomorrow rather than film, we're all pissed off. All right, let's get on the floor now.
Yeah. And that's how, in my mind, I wanted to get to it tonight because by tomorrow, like if you have it for 30 minutes or 40 minutes, like I think if you're going to combine film with practice, and I'm as guilty as anybody, but if you have a long film session, number one, their attention span is short. And then all of a sudden, I mean, their bodies get stiff sitting in that seat and their eyes get heavy if it's blackout dark. And it's just kind of like, I just think now when you try to come out and have like one of those great energetic rah practices, I think you're, setting it up for a failure. And it just so happened to, if I would have had, 4 clips, then maybe I would have started at tomorrow's practice and said, hey, here's 4 clips that outlines our weekend. I've got so many more than that I want to just show them on repeat of like, hey guys, look at this. Like you tell me, like, when it comes to winning and losing, like, and we played good teams, but we had a chance to win every single one of them. You're talented enough to have beat every single one of them. I wanted to win every single one of them, but you're not going to win a game all year long if you don't clean this up immediately, and that should help you for next week. The next couple days, I hope to have another one, like maybe bring him back up here on a Tuesday night or something, and have another one where it's, just our offense, like, hey, these no pass and one pass shots with no ball reversals or paint touches, we're not going to win very many games, guys, but I'm going to clean this other up first tonight, and then I'll clean that other up. But hopefully try to do it outside of a setting to where they don't have to try to go and immediately have a motor and be energetic, because I think I'm setting them up for failure in that regard.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.